Welcome to a brief overview of Firewalls by Beskar. This episode provides a basic introduction to firewalls and how to implement them. In this episode, we're going to define firewalls, describe where firewalls are typically found, describe the different types of firewalls you may encounter, and walk you through setting up firewalls on basic routers, Windows, macOS, and Linux. I think this video is important because good basic cybersecurity by everyone makes all of us safer. At its heart, Beskar is a cybersecurity research and development business, so we do plenty of advanced things involving firewalls that we may talk about in other videos. Things like packet and IP address inspection, honeypotting, IP address backtracking and attacker fingerprinting, and AI-driven deep packet inspection. But this video is just going to cover the basics. We'll start simply, and then we'll add some complexity as we go along. First, let's define what a firewall is. I think of firewalls like castle walls. Outside of the wall are delivery carriers with packages. That's your internet traffic. In the castle wall, there are doors. Those are your ports. And they let specific mail carriers through based on the type of letter that they say that they have. So, internet traffic typically goes through door 80 if it's unencrypted and door 443 if it's encrypted. There are over 65,000 doors in all, so we won't cover them here. Before we get into the different types of firewalls, let's talk briefly about where you should put firewalls, what we in cybersecurity call network architecture. If you're a home user or a small business owner like this video is designed for, you're probably dealing with maybe two types of firewalls. The first is at your router, where the internet enters your home or business, and the second is at your individual computer. If your business is larger, or if you're an enterprise user, you probably have firewalls in front of subnets and switches, firewalls in front of routers, maybe an enterprise firewall. But the point is that inside of your castle wall, you're going to have walls within walls. Bridges can connect some of these walls, but we'll save that for another video. Now let's talk about the types of firewalls you can have. We're going to use Cisco's methodology and say that there are 9 types of firewalls, although this categorization is the subject of some debate. But for the purposes of this video, we're going to be discussing 9 different types of firewalls. The first type of firewall that we're going to discuss is really the most basic. It's a packet filtering firewall, and that's a security mechanism that controls the flow of data based on specified rules. It examines the source and destination addresses, ports, and protocols of each data packet, allowing or blocking packets accordingly. By examining each element, packet filtering firewalls maintain a secure network perimeter while enabling efficient data management. As I said, this really is the most basic form of firewall, and it's what we're going to spend the most time discussing at the end. The second type of firewall that we're going to discuss is a proxy firewall. If you're a small business owner or home user, you probably don't have a proxy firewall, but you will have it if you're an enterprise user. We have it at Beskar, and it monitors data passing in and out of a network. It acts as an intermediary between users and the internet, intercepting requests, validating those requests, and then forwarding legitimate traffic onto users. This helps protect internal networks from threats by masking the actual network addresses and enforces stringent control over the types of data and applications that can be accessed. For example, it may block malicious websites, such as known virus or pornographic websites, and it may provide filtering that prevents users from successfully clicking on malicious links and emails. With its ability to examine the entire message content, a proxy firewall ensures a high level of security and privacy. Proxy firewalls can even provide additional functionality, such as content caching and security, by preventing direct connections from outside the network. On to the third type, stateful inspection firewalls. A stateful inspection firewall, also known as a dynamic packet filtering firewall, is a sophisticated network security system that monitors the state of active connections and makes decisions based on the context of the traffic. Unlike stateless firewalls, which analyze packets individually, stateful firewalls maintain the information about the state of each connection, allowing them to detect deviances from that state and prevent unauthorized access more effectively. They offer enhanced security by tracking the entire session, inspecting the packet headers and the state of the connection, and ensuring only legitimate traffic is allowed through. Alright, we're going to get a little more complicated now, and we're going to talk about web application firewalls. You're not going to have a web application firewall at your home or in your small business, but your small business may have a web application firewall if you have an online presence. More than a website, like like an online store. And these are going to monitor, filter, and block harmful internet traffic using predefined rules. They can identify and prevent various cyber threats such as SQL injections, cross-site scripting attacks, and other types of web and internet-based attacks to ensure the integrity, availability, and confidentiality of your web applications. If you're using a web application firewall, or you want to use one, it's usually accessed through whoever provides your online business. So AWS or GoDaddy, for example, usually have an online portal that you can go into and change some settings to secure your business. I recommend you do that, and I recommend you become familiar with each of the unique features of a web application firewall. It's a great way to protect your business and your customers. The next type of firewall that we're going to discuss is a unified threat management firewall. This is a single security solution that integrates multiple security features, such as antivirus, anti-spam, content filtering, and intrusion detection and prevention, all into a single unified hardware or software solution. It simplifies the process of protecting a network by offering a single integrated approach to threat management, making it easier to manage and maintain your overall security posture. The sixth type of firewall that we're going to discuss is the next generation firewall. This is typically an enterprise solution, and we have several of these on the best of our network. They're an advanced form of firewall technology offering greater features than traditional firewalls. By focusing on application awareness, integrated intrusion prevention, and the ability to address advanced security threats, they examine data at the application layer, facilitating more precise control and securing networks more effectively. Next-generation firewalls employ deep packet inspection, ensuring precise detection and mitigation of potential vulnerabilities. They embody the convergence of robust security measures with refined context-aware processing capabilities. The seventh type of firewall that we're going to discuss is an AI-powered firewall. And I group this with the next generation firewall because a lot of these capabilities are cross-pollinated at this point. An AI-powered firewall leverages artificial intelligence and machine learning to proactively identify and mitigate cyber threats. By continually analyzing large volumes of network data, AI-powered firewalls can detect abnormal patterns and potential security breaches in real time. The advanced technology of an AI-powered firewall enhances threat detection accuracy, reduces response time, and adapts to new evolving cyber threats, making them significantly more effective than traditional firewalls. The next type of firewall that we're going to discuss is a virtual firewall. This is a network security device running on a virtualized environment, such as cloud infrastructure or virtual machines. They're similar to traditional hardware-based firewalls in that they monitor and control incoming and outgoing network traffic based on predetermined security rules. However, the key difference between a virtual firewall and a traditional firewall is that by its virtual nature, they have greater flexibility, scalability, and ease of deployment, making them ideal for dynamic and distributed network environments. Finally, a cloud-native firewall. A lot of the features that I'm going to talk about with a cloud-native firewall sound very similar to some of the other firewalls I've talked about at the enterprise level, and this goes to show how much merger there is at the higher level with some of these firewalls. However, cloud-native firewall is specifically designed to protect resources within cloud environments. Cloud-native firewalls are software-driven and fully integrated with cloud infrastructure, leveraging the agility and scalability inherent to cloud computing. They usually offer advanced threat detection, automated compliance management, and seamless integration with cloud-native services and architectures, ensuring robust protection in dynamic and distributed environments. Now that we've covered the basics of firewalls, let's talk about how and where to set one up. Let's start with your home or business internet router. It probably came with some information sheet that has a web address to connect to the router. Let's go log on to the router and do some basic firewall maintenance. First, let's change your default password. Many routers run a graphical interface. You probably received instructions on how to access that interface when your technicians set up your router. These web interfaces provide an easy way to change the default password. It's a good idea to change this password because at one point they were publicly available on the internet, and there usually isn't a lot of variation in them to this day. Second, let's turn the firewall on and use one of the handy presets to filter for web traffic. For most home users, this will be enough. You can add open ports if you're running a mail server, web server, or more, but this video is probably a little too simple if that's your use case. For enterprise systems, the setup is going to be much more complicated, and you should at least have a CCNA on site for an enterprise system. Now let's talk about turning on a firewall in Windows. This is the easiest of the three, Windows, Mac, and Linux, because Microsoft actually does a really good job with basic security. First, click on the Windows icon in the taskbar. Second, click on Settings or simply type Defender into the search bar. Third, click on the Windows Defender with Advanced Security icon. When Windows Defender loads, ensure that Windows Defender Firewall is turned on. It's also a good idea to block inbound connections not specifically authorized and block unwanted outbound connections. You can set your specific rules by clicking on the Inbound and Outbound Rules tabs. Turning on a firewall in Mac is equally easy. You're going to click your gears icon, the Settings button, and navigate to the Network tab. From there, click the Firewall button. It's as easy as clicking the slider button so that the firewall is turned on. From there, you can click the Options button and block specific programs, or you can block all incoming connections. Even if you click Block Incoming Connections, you will probably still have access to the internet. Another option in Mac is MacOS Firewall, which is a great free tool that provides a more sophisticated firewall setup. This is a basic introductory video, so I'm going to skip setting up MacOS in this video, but I wanted to highlight a great product that provides some more granular firewall control for Mac users. Finally, Linux. In this case, I'm demonstrating uncomplicated firewall, UFW, in Ubuntu, so other Linux flavors will look a little different. But UFW is widely available and is probably the simplest way to set up firewalls in Linux. You can get the status of the firewall by typing in the sudo UFW status command. It's a good idea to ensure that the firewall is active. If it's not active, type sudo UFW enable. Once there, you can set specific rules. Type sudo UFW default deny incoming. You may also want to deny outgoing rules and set granular controls by typing sudo UFW deny outgoing. This blocks incoming and outgoing traffic, so now you will have to allow specific traffic. You'll want to allow out ports 53 UDP, 80 TCP, and 443 TCP to access the internet. You'll also need to allow in 80 and 443 TCP ports. You can get much more complicated in Linux, and sophisticated users probably know that there are a lot of options I'm not showing you, but for the purposes of basic settings and firewall familiarity, I think this is a good start. For more complicated firewall settings, you can use IP tables by typing in iptables flag L. By typing UFW status and UFW status numbered, you can get specific rules by number, and you can delete the specific rule you want to delete by typing sudo UFW delete plus the rule number. Finally, I want to highlight OpenSnitch, which is another great free firewall product, this one for Linux users. Setting up and using OpenSnitch is beyond the focus of this lesson, but I want to share another great floss option. From all of us at Beskar, thank you for your time. We hope this video was helpful to you, and as always, stay safe on the internet.